Unique Mecca Audio, man. All right.
Mecca what?
Mecca Audio. All right, I'm going to tell you this one here. This is a hood story. This one here about, yeah, I got the prison cell in me because I could have wound up in prison for this, so that's why I left a little hood story drawn out. Now, this one here is about the Jersey car, all right? This is a hood story about Jersey. I just come home from Allendale, and I was there with a dude from Elizabeth. Good dude, good dude. Big shout out to Elizabeth. Big shout out to Elizabeth. I was there with my man from Elizabeth. You know what I mean? Now, Elizabeth is like, back in the days, they had certain little areas that was like baby Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So, you can't trust the chicks there. Now, my man that I met in Elizabeth, real good dude. Me and him got along real good in Annandale. This is, the little juvenile reception joint where you had to have an indeterminate sentence to go. So I was in Cottage 10 back in the days in Annandale. For those of y'all that been in Annandale and y'all been in Cottage 10, back in the 80s, it's like 84, 85, you know what I mean? 86, you know what I mean? This is when, Annandale was rocking and rolling and Cottage 10 was a dorm. Now, calm down. Let me tell you how it was when I entered in Annandale. I go in Annandale and I'm just coming here from Southern State. Big shout out to Southern State. Big shout out to Southern State. All right? So now, I'm coming from Southern State, and I used to work in the kitchen. Be that I was young, because that's when I had the 25 years looking all that time over there, as juvenile. They sent me over to Southern State because I was in Yardsville. Big shout out to Yardsville. Big shout out to Yardsville. You know what I mean? This is Jersey car joint. Jersey wanted a joint. I'm going to give you a Jersey car joint. So I'm in Yardsville. I go to Yardsville, and when I go up on the tier, there was it was reception back then. So when you go into any prison, in Jersey, they would send us through Yardsville. Y'all know Yardsville. So they sent us through Yardsville. They had a big boxing gym in there because Jersey was real big for boxing because, we next to Philly. Philly had, don't get mad, Jersey, Philly had official boxers. You know what I mean? Jersey dude was official too. Don't get it wrong, but Philly was a boxing town back then. And they used to have it. To give y'all a little rundown on that before I get into my little story. It's really a hood story, but that's why I got the prison joint. I'm gonna bring you from the prison how we got cool. So my man was good people. Now, he sat there and me and him got along real good. He used to take me to the gym, we'll work out and, did our little burpees. We hit the bag. We ran a little 5 miles every day. We did our thing and we went around and bang, 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 bang. So now, while we doing our thing up in there, it got real crazy, got real crazy. But dude always helped me down. You know what I mean? Assalamu alaikum to all the Muslims. You know what I mean? Dude used to always hold me down and everything was love. So when it was time to go, they send me to High Point. So I go up to High Point. Big shout out to High Point. You know what I mean? Big shout out to High Point. I wanted to get to Stokes Forest though. You know what I mean? Stokes Forest was another joint out in Jersey. It was like a camp. But when I get up there to the joint, they got these white boys up there. They little young white boys, my age, but they acting all crazy. When the lights go off, you can't talk. They don't want you to say nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And they walk around and they got the keys. Sometimes they walk, you hear the keys jingling when they walking like that. So the keys jingling. So you had a white boy that'll hold his keys so when he walk, you didn't hear nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Then he'll roll up on you. He'd be like, you got a shot. And he'll give you a shot for talking after 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? And then they try and send you back to Annandale for that. But I didn't care nothing about none of that crap. Because, I'm from, downtown or uptown where, we clicking, clacking, and busting our gun like it's nothing. You know what I mean? So I got tired of all that crap. So I tell them, y'all got to send me back down to Annandale, man. I can't deal with this. So they telling me only way to go back to Annandale is to get a shot. You know what I mean? So I grabbed all my property and I threw it in the front office. And I told them, y'all send me back to Annandale. I'm going to wind up hurting one of you white boys because you too damn disrespectful up here. So, of course, they loaded me up, sent me back. But now they send me to Cottage 1. See, if y'all was back there, I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Cottage 1 was the shoe back then. You know what I mean? And Cottage 10 right across from Cottage 1 because it went Cottage 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? And then when, 5, 6 came around till you got down to 10, then you had the little dorm part that they put you when you work outside, on the highway crew. You know, I done been in all them units because, you know, I was wilding back then. You know, I was a kid. You know, if I tell the youngins, don't get involved in this because you ain't trying to go through the crap I went through. So now, I come back down to the joint and I go see the parole board. And if y'all from back in the day, all my old heads watching this, y'all know the parole officer name that was stricter than a mother. Her name was Sally Carroll. Give a big shout out to Sally Carroll. Y'all remember Sally Carroll? You know what I mean? Sally Carroll, calm down. Sally Carroll used to hit everybody in the head with time whenever you go up for parole. Nobody got a date, you just got more time. You know, we want 2 more years. We want 5 more years. But when I went in there, being I was so young and I done endured all that, Sally Carroll grabbed me by her, you know, by my shoulder, pulled me into her breasts, and she just started crying like, I can't believe you went through all that. Because don't forget, I done did time all up in Trenton doing this bid. You know, I did a time in Trenton because when I was at Yardsville, you know, you had the orderlies that used to come up there. Y'all remember the orderlies that come clean up the unit because they live on the compound. So they come up there and they mop up and clean up. So whenever we go to rec, by the time we come back or they let us go get commissary, dudes would take, you know, would go in there and steal all our commissary while we out at rec. And it was nothing you could do about it because you can't go to the police. So now I already have my mind made up. If I catch a dude up in there, it's going to be all types of head cracking. All right. So now I come back up in the joint and I see a yellow mop bucket outside my cell, you know, and I walk over to my cell and there's a dude in there taking stuff out my locker, putting it in a net bag to leave. So you know me, I'm like 120 pounds soaking wet. So I grabbed the mop wringer, you know, and I went to welding him, gave him like 200-300 stitches in his face, rearranged his whole face with that joint. So now they grabbed me and it's the first time, you know what I mean? This is the first time that I entered, you know, what I call involuntary PC. They call it administrative detention, where the administration put you in PC. They put me in god doggone PC because I bust this dude all up with a mop wringer, and they said that he was an official dude. He'd been there at Yardsville for about 10 years from he was a juvenile, and he got a lot of friends there, and they felt like my life was in danger. So you know me, I told them, well, bring me a tough man sheet. Y'all don't know what a tough man sheet is. They didn't have them back then in Yardsville. But I tell them, bring me a tough man sheet. A tough man sheet is a piece of paper that you sign saying that you could go back on the pound. If anything happened to you on the pound, you lose your life or whatever, your family can't sue them because you chose to go out there knowing that your life was supposedly in danger. They wouldn't bring me the tough man sheet, so they send me over to Trenton. So when they send me over to Trenton, they send me down to One Left. You know what I mean? House of Pain. Y'all that was in Trenton back in the days, y'all remember One Left. You know what I mean? 4 unit had the little dorm, little 4 bunks in the joint, you know what I mean? And, you know, and I know a few dudes from New York that got caught up in it. Big shout out to Romance, you know what I mean? You know? Romance was calm down. Romance was one of the New York homies, you know? Then we had Big JoJo Townsend over there. We had Big Gary Moulton. But they sent me up to 7 Up. You know what I mean? You know, you remember 7 Up. That was a wild joint. So it's all single cells. So they send me those 7 Up. So when I get up to 7 Up, that's where I meet a good brother from Newark. What was his name? Fu Quan. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Fu Quan. Fu Quan is the one that, you know, taught me how to bid out there in the Jersey system. And he told me, he said, look, you ain't supposed to be here because you're too young, so they're going to try and come get you. But you better off staying here, da-da-da. So when they came to get me, I told them I ain't trying to go nowhere. I'm staying in Trenton. I got some stories about Trenton State Prison, too. But, you know, this ain't about that. You know what I mean? We're going to get back to the hood story in a minute, but I'm just walking through all the crap that I went through in Jersey. So after I leave there, they told me, and when I was there, they told me that they was going to send me to Jones Farm. So, you know, Fu Quan said, yo, that joint's sweet. That's the camp to Trenton. You know what I mean? No lockdown, no fence. Your family come see you. You could go sit out in the car with them. You could have sex. You could get all the weed you want. I'm like, oh, man, that sounds like heaven compared to all this crap. So, of course, I go over there to Jones Farm. I get over to Jones Farm, you know, had a couple of little chickens come up and bring me a little weed and all that, little liquor, and I'm out there doing my thing. But I go out there with my man Shane. Big shout out to Shane. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Shane from Hackensack. Y'all from Hackensack, New Jersey, y'all know Shane. Shane died, rest in peace to Shane. But me and Shane up there, white boy, come up in the joint, and we hiding out in the silo. I'm smoking some weed. I got that weekend in the visit. We hide as hell. If you don't know what the silo is, that's that big-ass tube tower that you got to climb up, and they put all the grain and wheat in there that they feed the cows and stuff with. And sometimes it gets stuck and you got to go up there with a pitchfork and shovel it out. So the joint was about 30 stories up, you know, this ladder that you had to manually climb up. So me and Shane used to climb up there, smoke weed, get high as a motherfucker, and wait till the work was over. So now after we get up there and we chilling, white boy, young white boy, chewing tobacco dude, you know, one of them, you know, just like Rambo I told you about from Lewisburg, always calling you a boy and then spit out the tobacco. You know, like what you boys doing up here? Everything was after the boy. You know what I mean? You would think that was the first and last name, boy. You know what I mean? like nigga Bob, nigga Pete, boy, you know? All right. So now they come up there and he telling us that we got to get out of here. He calling us all kinds of boys and he all over the damn place. So I got tired of him calling me a boy. I'm high as hell, so I took the pitchfork and I smacked him dead in his face with the pitchfork. You know what I mean? Me and my man Shane up there. We whooped this boy so bad, left him up there in the goddamn going joint. So now, count on, we leave, come down. After count, you know, nobody know where this white boy at because he knocked out up there in the silo. So they come and they searching this and that. So after they find him up there in the silo, you know, he guess he came out from being knocked out. He went down and he told them that he was that New York boy and that boy from Hackensack. So they come down there and they grab me and, you know, to make sure the white boys at the police wouldn't jump on me. And we had a dude, you know, if y'all was in Trenton back in the days, big shout out to Mercer. Y'all remember Mercer? Y'all remember Mercer used to wear the toupee? Y'all remember Mercer? They had a cop named Mercer used to wear a toupee with the Jerery curl. But old Mercer came and he said, boy, we got to get you out of here because them crackers going to kill you. You know what I mean? You know, hit one of the heads with a pitchfork. So Mercer got me transferred over there to Southern State. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Southern State. You know? So, calm down, y'all. Calm down. You know? So I opened up Southern State. And that's the first time I seen a he cipher, monkey cipher, and another dude, you know what I mean, that was on the boxing team, wasn't nothing nice, was chasing the he cipher, monkey cipher around. They used to go hide down the library and do whatever they do. But, you know, that was that. We used to go on a visit, able to have sex on a visit over there at Southern State back in the days and all that. They had phase 1 and phase 2 was the way to join it. Y'all remember phase 1 and phase 2. I started off in phase 2, then they shot me over to phase 1. Then from phase 1, they shoot me over to Allendale. When I get to Allendale, being in the phase 1, when I got over there, I got my hands on a big butcher knife because I was working in the kitchen. So I take the big butcher knife, wrap it up in the towel, I wrap it up, stick it in my shoe, and I take the joint with me over there to Allendale. So when I get to Allendale and I get up there to College 10, you know, dudes up there was taking dudes' sneakers. Yeah. Just so y'all know, y'all remember College 10. You know, dude taking niggas' sneakers. So a dude went to go try and take my sneakers. And of course, I had to pull the big-ass butcher knife out and put my work in. You know what I mean? Big shout out to the dude that tried to take my sneakers. You know what I mean? Big shout out. Big shout out. All right, calm down, y'all. Calm down, because I stabbed the shit out of him. You know what I mean? So we got to give him a shout out. But anyway, so now I meet the homie from Elizabeth. So now when I go home, all right, I go home and I get a phone call from the homie from Elizabeth. So he tell me, you know, come by and see him. And he gave me an address and some projects over there. I don't even remember the projects. I'd be lying if I told you. But he gave me the address to the projects, told me to come see him. So I go over there to go see him. And I go there, there's a skinny black lady over there, eyes big as hell. You can tell she was smoking. She kept going in the back room. You know what I mean? I'm in the living room and my man with me from home, T-Neck. You know? So my man, you know what I'm talking about, my man from T-Neck. I ain't going to say no names. But we over there now. And she keep going in the back room and she coming out, could barely walk. She's so nervous, her eyes busting out her head and all that. And I kept saying, yo, where the homie at? And she said, oh, no, he called, he said he coming. So we sitting down there, but of course I got the hammer on me, clicking and clacking, you know, ready to bust off. You know what I mean? So now, he kept talking about he coming. So I know something going on because she kept going in the back room, but she kept going in the back room to go get high and then come out. So I know she a smoker. So my man, I know he wouldn't have me go to no smoker house to go meet him and tell me to wait in the smoker house for him to come, you know? So now I got tired of that, you know? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, I look at my man and I said, yo, I think this is a setup, my nigga, you know? But now, come to find out, it was a setup, you know, but it wasn't my man, you know? His cousin tried to make a move on me, you know what I mean? And, you know, cousin knew I was getting a little money in Harlem. I had the Army Green M3 at the time with the BBS's chrome, you know what I mean? Little $50,000 joint. So dude was trying to make a move on me. But I knew what it was, but you know, I'm ready for whatever. So I'm hanging out, cause I said, okay, first nigga come through the door, I'm just gonna blow his face off. You know what I mean? I don't know who it is or whatever. You know what I mean? No disrespect to whoever dude was, but I knew it was a setup and I knew it wasn't my man, you know? So now, all of a sudden, I hear some footsteps coming up the stairs. So I run out to the hallway and I start busting off. You know what I mean? You know, this is how I'm going down the stairs. You know what I mean? I'm busting off going down the stairs. So we run, jump in the joint, and we pull out. And then I get a call about an hour later, and it was my man. It was my man. He's still locked up. That was his cousin trying to set me up, because the cousin never liked me from in the joint anyway, because he thought I was too arrogant, cocky, and hollow. You know what I mean? So his cousin tried to set me up. You know what I mean? But all this is a part of the game and a part of the streets. That's why I tell you, don't get involved in the streets. Don't get involved in none of that. It ain't worth it, man. Because that's how easy I could have lost my life. They could have lost their life. Because, you know, everything go off, man. But that was my little Jersey experience, man. But they definitely had the balls to try and rob me. Big shout out to the cats from Elizabeth that tried to rob me. Big shout out to the cats that tried to rob me. You can't knock, hold on, man. Hold on with the clapping and applause. You can't knock a man for trying his hand. You understand what I'm saying? You can't knock a man for trying his hand, but I was ready. I still got to tell you about how a dude punched me in my face and grabbed my chain and tried to snatch my chain off my neck, and I was going down to my knees and grabbed him by the joint while he had my chain in the hand, and we wrestling for the chain. You understand? Y'all want to hear that chain story? That was at the rooftop. You know what I mean? I know y'all heard the rooftop. Big shout out to Gusto. You know, Willie, you know what I mean? T-Rod, Booth. You know what I mean? Brucey B was big DJ up there. Ron G, Mike Spot, Kid Capri, Star Child, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Hollywood. I mean, everybody was up in that joint, man. If you want to hear about that story, how they tried to rob me outside the joint, you know what I mean? You know, I'm going to give you that one. But right now, I've been on here long enough. This ain't been that long, but it's long enough. I just want to give you all this little quick hood story just to let y'all know that they tried to get me out there in Elizabeth, New Jersey, man. Big shout out to them again. Big shout out to Elizabeth. But hit that like button, Cash App on the screen. You know, my Instagram is right there. Follow me at Instagram, subscribe, all of that old crap, and do what you got to do. And know that, you know, Mecca what? Mecca Audio is in the house. All right.
Hi guys, welcome to Platinum Cuisines. We're located in Freeport on the Nautical Mile. Just wanted to introduce my partner, Amy.
Hi guys, how are you? And this is my sister-in-law, Diana, another partner. I just ask that you come support our minority-owned business. We serve Asian fusion, Caribbean cuisine, and we have a beautiful restaurant located on the Nautical Mile in Freeport, New York. And we're asking that you come check us out and also make sure to tune in to Mecca Audio TV.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26,
yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Right.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio.
We gon' do it like
like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, you we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them, cause they the truth them, and bless up to all the root men.